Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of Spark. I'm Coach David. Hope you're doing fantastic on today and everything is going in the right direction for you. I'm super excited that you are here with me on today to share in this time on the Spark. Do me a big favor, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button, hit that, connect button, and let somebody else know that Coach David is out there giving you something that's going to help you and strengthen you and take you to another level. It's super exciting time that we're living in, all the different things that are going on. But I want to encourage you with this right here. It's not over until it's over. You stay in the fight, you stay working, you keep being determined, you keep going forward and watch great and wonderful things happen. It's all in a state of mind, as I like to say. Your mindset is going to determine more about your life than a whole lot of other things. So don't get all tangled up. Don't get all, wrapped up in the current events, but just know this right here, that you're going to be okay, that you're going to make it through, and that great and wonderful things are going to come your way. I want to be an encouragement to you on today to let you know that no matter what you see going on around you, your mindset is going to determine how far you go, how high you go, and how wide you go. So don't let this stuff get you. Listen, on today, I just want to be an encouragement to you on today. We're still talking about that growth mindset. And in talking about the growth mindset, today I just want to clear the air on something. That's what I'm calling this particular lesson on today, clearing the air about the growth mindset. We want to clear the air about a couple of things. As we continue to teach this, we understand that, people can see things different ways. I want you to understand how I'm bringing it to you in such a way that you have clarity, that you have understanding, but not only that, you can have practical application. You can put this to work in your life and help your family, help your friends to develop a growth mindset. Because in my honest opinion, that's what we are here for, is to strengthen and help and encourage one another. And so when we do that, when we have a basic understanding of something, we can go forth and give it to others. So we're going to clear it. So we're going to go back a little bit and we're going to talk about just three things today. It'll be very short. What, in simple terms, is a growth mindset? That's number one. What are the ingredients or the components of a growth mindset? And then number three, we're going to talk about the environment, the landscape where a growth mindset can really develop and grow, because we want to give you that. So with that being said, in its simplest terms, in the very base terms that I can give you, a growth mindset is simply having the belief that people can develop their abilities. Now, let's stop there and talk about that for a minute. Not only is it having the belief of other people can do this, but it's also having the belief that you can do this. Your current abilities can be grown, they can be strengthened, they can be enlarged, but you have to have that belief. More things in our life are driven by what we believe than what we kind of recognize. And a lot of times what we don't understand, that is simply our belief that is maybe keeping us from the best. If you don't believe that you're supposed to have a growth mindset, if you don't believe you're supposed to have the best, then you won't go for it. And so we have to work on that belief. But the growth mindset believes that my abilities, currently where I'm at right now, my abilities, they can be developed, they can grow more, and I can get better. So with that being said, we have to believe that we can elevate. And so when we start getting into this thing about belief, I want you to think about this for a minute. The way you believe determines a lot about your life. If you believe that you can grow, you will grow, and you will seek out and find ways to grow. And not only that, your mind will search out ways to grow. But consequently, if you don't believe you can grow, then you will stay stagnant right where you are. Well, I want to encourage you on today. I want you to know something. Yes, you can grow. Yes, you can get better. And you may be great at it. That's not taking anything away from where you're at right now. I just want you to understand that there's even more. I say this a lot. I'm coaching the students that I coach. I'd let them know there's more in the tank. What do I mean by there's more in the tank? There's so much more potential in you than maybe what you recognize. I want you to understand this, that I have even more potential. I can develop, I can grow, but I've got to do the necessary things. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. I've got to do the necessary things to bring this potential to the top and develop it so that my abilities get better. Now, many people think that if you have a open mind or a flexible mind, that you are actually in a growth mindset. Well, I tend to disagree with that, and I'm going to explain why I disagree with that. There's nothing wrong with having an open mind. There's nothing wrong with being flexible in your mindset, but you can be open and you can be flexible, but you may be unwilling to have a dedication to growth. And what I mean by that, I want you to think about this for a minute. If I'm open to hear what somebody else says, but I'm still of the same mindset, even though I may hear it, even though I may allow them to do it, have I really grown? If like, it's kind of like this, if that is removed and I continue on my same path, have I really grown? Have I really developed? Of course not. So being flexible is great. Being open is great. What we're talking about is what this growth mindset is. And this growth mindset says that I understand that the abilities that I have right now, my current abilities, can grow, and there is so much potential on the inside of me that is yet to be expressed, and I have to do everything that I can to develop it, to express it, to bring it out of me, and to put it into work. So that's really it in the simplest terms. But the key thing here, I believe, is you've got to believe it is that way. You have to believe, because you will start acting on what you believe. And consequently, when you believe that that your abilities can improve, your abilities can grow, you will seek out ways to get that done. So that's that part. Now let's move on. Let's talk about the ingredients of growth mindset. So is it more effort? Is it the process? Is it just like challenging myself and taking on difficult things? What are the ingredients that make me develop and have this growth mindset? Well, I want to break it down like this. I got three things that I really want to get across in this particular lesson about those ingredients, if you will. And here's what I did. I made them all D's, the letter D. I made them all the letter D. One, because it's easier to remember, and two, I just like doing that because that's just me. Okay, so thank you so much for accepting me being me. You make it what you want to make it. This is your life. You make it what you want to make it. This is just the way that Coach David does because it works for me. So, number one, when we start talking about ingredients, we got to be determined, we got to be diligent, and we got to do dynamic work. So all of those go towards work. Yes, it does require work as an ingredient to a growth mindset. Why do I say it requires work? Because you got to work at this. Okay, your current level, your current abilities, your current where you're at right now is going to require some work. So I said you got to be determined. Determined what? Determined to work. You got to be diligent in that work, and you got to be dynamic. You got to be flowing. You got to be fluid. You got to get the work done. You've got to put in the time to do the work. I share this with people all the time. Great athletes, great whatever, let me put it like this. Whatever somebody is great at, they have been very determined, they've been diligent, and they've been dynamic in the work to get that done. You don't become a superstar athlete, you don't put in the work. You don't become a financier and a person with financial knowledge if you're not diligent, if you're not dynamic, if you're not determined to put in the work. So one of the key ingredients, if you will, is the work. But that work's got to be determined, it's got to be diligent, and it's got to be dynamic. So yes, work is an ingredient in having that growth mindset. Now, a lot of people use hard work. I don't like using the term hard work because as soon as you say hard work, people don't want to work. But if you're diligent, if you're determined, and if you're dynamic, boy, you can move forward in that. So don't make it hard. Okay, just don't make it hard. It's not hard, but it does require some consistency. That's being diligent. It does require you being determined. Okay, it does require that. So that is that part, the work. Here's a second ingredient. You've got to be a little daring. Okay, what do you mean by that? You've got to be willing to try something new, some new strategy, some new plan. You have to be willing to do that. That is an ingredient of the growth mindset. You got the work, but you got to also, you say, okay, I got to try something new here, especially when things are not working. Look, I heard this a long time ago, and I do truly believe this. The definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and over again, expecting different results, but you're not getting different results. So if I'm not getting different results, I need to try something new. I need to be a little daring here. That is one of the ingredients of a growth mindset. I have to be the person that will say, hey, you know what? I got to try a new plan. I got to try a new strategy. However, I am looking at the outcome. Is what I'm doing right now working? If it's not working, I need to do something different. I don't need to be daring just for the act of daring, but I need to be daring that I'm going to try something new to see if it works. And a lot of times what happens is we get locked into our familiar way of doing that, and we don't want to do anything different. And that leads me to my next one right here. You have to desire help. A lot of times you need help. You need input. You need some constructive criticism. And a lot of us don't want to do that because we see that as a sign of weakness. But remember, the growth mindset says, hey, look, I don't know it all, but I know some people who may be able to assist me, some people who may be able to help me. So I got to have a desire to have help. That is the key ingredient, or one of the key ingredients, I should say, of a growth mindset. So I'm determined, I'm diligent, I'm dynamic in my work, I'm daring and trying new things, and I have a desire for help. Those three key ingredients will ensure that you are working in a growth mindset. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to receive help. Don't be afraid to give help, because I understand this, that those ingredients, oh my goodness, you're in a growth mindset, and the outcome of what you're trying to do, that's where it's at. That's where you're going to see the results. But we're not praising results as much as we are praising the process of getting the results. Oh yeah, we like the results. Don't get me wrong. We like the results, but we want to make sure that the process of getting the results, that's where we're at, especially with your children. Always praise their process. Always praise their being willing to go through and do the things that they need to do in order to get the outcome that they desire. So we talked about two of them. We talked about, what is a growth mindset in a simple term. We also talked about the ingredients. Now I want to talk about environment or landscape for a growth mindset. What do you mean by that? Well, there's a certain, there's a certain environment where a growth mindset really flourishes, okay? And I want to give you that, especially if you are a leader, a supervisor, a teacher, a parent. I want to give you that, because if you can build this environment and cultivate that type of environment, then you're going to see growth mindset take off. Number one, it's got to be a place that's safe from judgment. Now, listen. We can't sit around and judge from the standpoint of being hypercritical. Yeah, we're going to look at something and going to say, okay, I just told you, I say we want to praise the process, okay, for the outcome. But we can't sit around and just say everything when somebody's daring enough to try something new, and then we got to judge it. We got to talk bad about it. We got to put it down. No, let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Let's see how it comes out. That's how we plan a new strategy. And I'm always so excited when one of my students or when one of my, people that I work with, when they come up with an idea. I don't judge it. This is what I do. I say, okay, well, let's see how it works. And sometimes I come up with my own new ideas and I'll pitch it, and they may look at it and say, oh, no. I had that happen this week, as a matter of fact. I said to the team that I coach, hey, I'm considering doing this, but I got to talk to my key leaders to see what they think. Well, when I threw it out to them and everything, it was like, that sounds good, but have you considered this? Have you considered this? Hey, look, they're giving me help. I was like, no, I didn't think about that. So when you do that, you got to be safe from judgment. You got to be in a place where you feel like I'm comfortable to be daring. I'm comfortable to ask for help. So free from judgment. Here's the second thing. We have to believe in people's potential. We got to believe that. People need to know that you believe in them and that you believe in their potential to get better, to do better, to have better. You do that, you give them that, you cultivate that type of environment, you're going to see people flourish. Why? Because people need somebody to believe in them. It is amazing to me. I work with teens. It's amazing to me when I look at a teen and I say, listen, I believe in you. I know it's in you. I know you can do this. When I do that, it blesses me so much to see them light up, to see them say, okay, all right, okay, you believe in me? Watch this right here. Now I'm going to go to work. I'm going to get it done. People need somebody to believe in them. You have to cultivate an environment of belief in their potential, belief in their abilities to get it done. When you cultivate that kind of environment, that kind of landscape, oh my goodness, now the sky is not the limit. No, they go way beyond the sky. They shoot for the moon. So my point is this right here. Make them feel safe from judgment. Don't judge. Number two, hey, have a belief in them. And then here's the third and final one. You've got to be willing to work with and assist them to grow. They are going to make mistakes. They are going to come up short. That's not where you judge them. You still believe in the potential in them, and you got to be willing to work with them. Sometimes it takes some of us a little bit longer to get it, and that's okay. I say this to people all the time. As long as you don't give up, as long as you don't cave in, as long as you don't quit, I got your back and I will keep pushing forward for you. So having that growth mindset and cultivating an environment like that, oh my goodness, you will not believe how great it will get. So the environment for a great growth mindset is safe from judgment, believe in the potential of others, and be willing to work with and assist them to grow. And if you will do those three things, you're going to be cultivating a great environment. So I hope this lesson has helped you on today as we just kind of cleared the air on the growth mindset. We talked about what a growth mindset is, so you understand that. We talked about the ingredients to a growth mindset. No different than making that pound cake I like to make. You got to have the right ingredients. And in order to have a beautiful pound cake come out, you got to have the right ingredients to have a beautiful growth set come out. And then we talked about environment and landscape. Please share this with someone. We want to develop this growth mindset so much, and we've been on it. We're still on it. We're still pressing through it. We're getting ready to go in. We just got into the month of April, and we're still pressing on this growth mindset because I know this right here. A growth mindset will take you really far. And that's what I want for you. So I'm going to get out of here for today. I hope this has helped you on today. Please share this with somebody. But until the next time, remember this right here. Remember this right here. You are the architect of your life. I'm Coach David. I believe in you. And I'll see you on next week. Have a great one. Bye.